Hi everyone. In our last sessions, we have seen what is Cloud Data Fusion. So, Cloud Data Fusion is a fully managed cloud native solution. So here, if I wanted to create any kind of a data pipelines, we can able to create the data pipelines using the user interface itself. So unlike a data proc and data flow, we don't need to write any code to create the data pipelines. So uh, Cloud Data Fusion is one of the data processing system where you can able to create your data pipelines using the user interface, and you can also transform the data using the user interface itself. So in our session, we are going to see one of the example, and this gives you a very good understanding. For that one, I have created one of the data fusion instance. If you wanted to create an instance, you can click on create instance, provide the name of your instance, select a region, and edition also you can select it. I have selected the basic edition, and after that we have to authorize it, select a proper dataproc service account, and click on create. So it takes at least 10 minutes. So that is the reason I have already created this instance. Now our agenda in this session is that, so let me gonna tell you. See here, I have a two CSV files. One is students data file, one more is grades data file. Okay, so this is how the data looks like. So in the students data file, CSV file, we have a student ID, student name, student age, as well as gender. Similarly, all the students, their IDs as well as names, with respect to their names, we have the data. Similarly, and we have the student ID and the subject and their grade. That means the marks. So we have all the information in the grades table, and this is our students table. So what is our agenda is that I'm going to load these two CSV files into the Google Cloud Storage. We are going to transform that using the data fusion, and in this one we are going to see how the data fusion actually works, and with the help of this data fusion, how we can able to do the data processing, how we can able to create an end-to-end data pipeline. We are going to see it, and finally we are going to load this data to the BigQuery. Okay, so in this particular operation, our main requirement is to, we wanted to find the average grade in each subject. We wanted to find, this is our use case. You can think of a business requirement that they wanted to find the average grade in each subject. So you can see here I have a multiple subjects, and we wanted to find the average grade for each subject. For example, what is the grade for the math, what is the average grade for the physics, so such that we need to find it, and that data we wanted to load it to the BigQuery. Okay, so our source is GCS, our destination is BigQuery. We are going to create the pipelines using the data fusion. Okay. So this is our agenda, guys. So for that one, first let me go to the demo instance. So you can see here, this is the instance that I have created. First, to try to think that I have created one of the bucket. I have uploaded two of these files here, students.csv, grades.csv. You can also have these files in my notes. You can go to the end-to-end CSV. You have the both of these files available here. Okay, students and grades, both of these files are available here. You can upload it to your one of the bucket like this, and this is our source files. And first, then I wanted to load the data to the one of the data set in the BigQuery. This is my destination. So master data set is my data set. I wanted to create a table and get the data from the data fusion. So this is what we have wanted to do it. Okay, chalo, let's start it. So for starters, I will go to my data fusion instance, click on view instance. You have here view instance, right? Click on view instance. So the entire data fusion environment will open for us. You can see here the data fusion environment is opened. So we wanted to go to the studio. So you can see here at the middle, you will be able to see the option called studio. Click on the studio option. Okay, so this is how the data fusion UI looks like, guys. If you guys are, if this is the first time for you, you can look at it here. This is how the UI looks like. So here you will be able to see the source, transform, analytics, sync, multiple options are here. So for source, you have a plenty of options such that like you can able to read the data from GCS, BigQuery, CSV, as well as MySQL, SQL Server, Bigtable. Any from any source you can able to read the data. And similarly, you can transform the data using these options. You can do the analytics using these options, and you can also write the data to some other destination such as sync. So in our case, our data is available in the GCS, right? So first, let me go to the source and select the GCS here. So we have here the GCS option here. You see, I can click on it. So once I click on it, a GCS will be opened in our environment. You see here. So this is our source connector. Okay. So this is our window where we are going to create our pipeline, which is a user interface pipeline. Okay, so first you click on this GCS. This is what it opens. So once the GCS is opened, we need to connect the GCS to our Google Cloud Storage file, right? So click on this properties. Click on the properties, and you have here the label GCS. You can able to give any label. And so what I wanted to do, I wanted to browse my file, right? So I'm going to click on browse. And here you will be able to see on the left side, you have a GCS. Click on the cloud storage default. You'll be having one of the bucket, right? So go to that particular bucket where you have your files and select that first file. That is, I'm selecting the first file, that is students.csv. Okay, so this is how you see here, path automatically came, the file format also CSV automatically came. So we don't need to worry about it. And click on validate. At the top, you have a validate option, right? So you can click on validate. So once you click on validate, there are no errors found. You can click on wrong mark. So that this particular thing, we have connected it to our particular students file. Similarly, we have one more file also, right? Grades file. So for that one, that is also our source. I'm going to click on GCS. Again, one more time. And click on properties again. And go to the browse. And click on GCS, cloud storage, default. Click on the particular bucket. Select your file. My file, second file is grades.csv. I'm selecting the grades.csv. Okay. And click on validate. You have here the validate option. Click on validate. You can explore all other options also. It's your wish. And click on wrong mark. So now we have read the data from the source. Okay, we have now read the data from the source. Using the DataFusion, we read the data. So we have to establish this connection. So I have here in the GCS, I have this students CSV file, grade CSV file. So I have connected it to the DataFusion. Okay, so after that, what I'm trying to do is that we need to transform it. We need to transform it. So for transformations, I'm going to click on this transform tab, and I'll be able to see Wrangler. You see here we have the Wrangler. Wrangler is one of the user interface transformation tool where you can able to transform the data using the user interface itself. So select the Wrangler. Once you select the Wrangler, you see here, I wanted to connect this GCS source to the Wrangler. To do that, you come here, you have an arrow mark showing, right? So once you go to here, you will be able to see the arrow mark. You can able to connect it to this one. Okay, you can able to connect it to this one. And in the Wrangler, you see a properties. Click on the properties and click on this Wrangler. See here, the input schema is this one and the output schema is this one. But as per our file, the input schema for the students file, the schema should be student ID, name, age, and gender, right? So we need to have a proper schema. It should not be body 0, body 1, body 2, right? So for that one, click on Wrangler. So here you have a Wrangler, click on it. And select your file one more time. So we need to select the data. So my data is students.csv, click on it. So we need to parse that. Okay, we need to parse. So we need to parse it. So it is a CSV file. We already know that. You can select the CSV file. And after that, if you wanted to enable the quoted values, you can enable it. Use the first row as header. So I wanted to, because our file is having the header also, we need to and mention that the use first row as header. You can enable that and click on confirm. So this is how the Wrangler opens. So you see here, you are inside the Wrangler. If you wanted to do any of the operations in the Wrangler, you can able to do it, guys. So I am not doing any operations, but it's your wish. If you wanted to do any of the operations, you can able to do it. Okay, such as for example, if you wanted to do any of the operations, sir, I wanted to uh, uh, operations such as if you wanted to filter the data, or if you wanted to um, change the data type, if you wanted to format it. So if you wanted to format it to uppercase, you can click on uppercase. See here it is, everything is created with an uppercase. So these are all our columns. Beside that, you have a transformation step. See, we have done uppercase on the column name. So this is our transformation steps. Okay, so such that you can able to do it, guys. Okay, such that you can able to do it. Now once you have done any of your transformations, click on apply. For this use case, we don't need to do any transformation, so that's the reason I'm not doing anything. Okay, once you have done the transformations, click on apply and click on validate. You see here earlier body 0, body 1, now it becomes student ID, name, age and gender. So it has parsed properly, and we have also done one transformation. So here we call the transformations as recipes. So that's the reason it is mentioned as a recipe here. So one of the recipe we have done it. So click on validate. Okay, once you have done it, close. So the Wrangler, we have done parsing, and we have also done one transformations as well, one recipe as well. Similarly for the grades table also. Similarly for the grades table also. For what we can do, we can click on Wrangler one more time and connect the Wrangler to this particular file and click on the properties and click on the Wrangler one more time. Select your grades file. Okay, select your grade file, grades.csv, and this one, select the format, select the quoted, and first row as header, click on confirm. And click on apply. I'm not doing any transformations. If you wanted to do any of the transformations, you can able to do it, guys. I'm not doing any transformation. I'm going to click on apply and click on validate. Okay, click on cancel, so that you have your GCS Wrangler 1, Wrangler 2. Wrangler 1 to parse the students data, Wrangler 2 to parse the grades data. Now, so far what we have done, if you go to my chart, so we have done during the transformation, we have parsed the data using the Wranglers. Okay, Wrangler 1, Wrangler 2. Now, I wanted to join the data because these are the two different CSV files. We need to join it. So then only we will be, if I wanted to find the average grade for each subject, we need to join it, and then only we need to group the data. So then only we will be able to find the average age for each subject, right? To do that, so we can go to the analytics. On the left side, if you close the transform tab and open the analytics tab, you have here one of the transformation or one of the analytics, that is joiner. You can select. You can select the joiner. Okay, so what do you wanted to join? I wanted to join the, you see here, I wanted to join the students table with the grades table. So where we can able to join? So if I wanted to join it, here we have a student ID. In the grades also we have a student ID. On student ID, I wanted to join. Okay, to do that, first click on this arrow mark and drag it to this one. Similarly, click on this arrow mark and drag it to this one. So this is how you can able to do, you can able to combine or join it with both of these things. But we have to select the join ID, join type, all of those things, right? To do that, you can go to the properties option. Okay, to do that, go to the properties option. See here, there is some error also. So some of the fields have same name. So for example, you see here, so in the Wrangler 1 student ID and Wrangler 2 student ID. So in both of these CSV files, if you see here also we have the student ID, here also we have the student ID. So that is a duplicate name is there. So that's the reason I'm going to make this as a student 2. Okay, so this is one problem that is fixed. Now, do you want all the columns? So for example, from this one, if you want all the columns, select all the columns. From this one, if you want all the columns, you can have all the columns. But look at here, in this one I have student ID, here also I have the student ID. So if you don't want any of the columns, you can unselect it. So for now, I don't want the student ID 2 times, so I am going to unselect this particular file. Okay, then join type. Then join type. So for the join type, I'm going to select the inner join. Okay, I'm going to select the inner join. So join type, join condition, where do you want it to join? So from this, both of these things, I wanted to join a student ID. Here also I wanted to join a student ID. You can able to select it. So finally click on get schema, so that all the columns, whatever you have selected, if you select this one also, it will come here also. Okay, but I don't want the student to, right? So that is the reason what I will do, I will unselect it here. Okay, so then click on get schema and click on validate. So this is how you will be able to check it the errors. And once you have checked the errors properly, you can click on wrong mark, so that the joiner is also done. Okay, joiner is also done. Finally, what we wanted to do is that, so once the joining is also done, if I wanted to find the average grade for each subject, we need to group the data and aggregate the data, right? So to do the grouping and aggregation, what I will do, I will add the one more analytics, that is group by. So you can go here in the analytics tab itself, we have a group by also. I can click on group by. See here, group by came. So group by has to be connected to this one. Okay, but which column we wanted to group by, and whenever you are grouping by, what is the aggregation you wanted to do it. So for that one, you can click on the properties. Okay, you wanted to group by, and what is the group by field? You see here, what is the group by field? I am selecting the group by subject, because you see here, group by for each subject, that means group by subject. I wanted to find the average grade. So for each subject, the field is grade, right? You can add grade here. And what do you wanted to do? Average. On top of this one, average. You can give a average grade. You can give an average grade. So this is how you are grouping the data based on the subject, and aggregating the aggregating the column is grade, aggregate function is average, the column name is average grade. So once you have done it, click on validate. See here, you will only get two columns, because subject and average grade, right? So that is how you'll be able to get it, and click on wrong mark. So this is how you can able to do the transformations properly. And finally, I wanted to load this data to the BigQuery. You see here, I have done all the transformations. I wanted to load this data to the BigQuery. To load this data to the BigQuery, what I will do, I will go to the sync tab and I will click on BigQuery. Okay, I will click on BigQuery. So to do this one, I wanted to properly align it. So yeah. So drag this arrow mark. Don't forget to drag the arrow marks, guys, because this is a flow. Okay, so this is a flow. You have to properly drag it, otherwise there will be a problem. So you see here, if you wanted to align it, you can click on align. If you wanted to move this one here or there, you have the options here. You can able to do it. If you wanted to zoom out, you can able to zoom out, zoom in. All the options are here only. You can just check it out. So I have dragged it here and connected to this one. Sorry, I have done it 2 times. If you wanted to delete any of these things, you can select it and delete it. That is also fine. Okay, if you wanted to drag it, you can able to drag it like this. So this is how group by whatever the data that is there coming from this particular thing, wanted to store it here. But where you wanted to store it in the BigQuery, so you have to select the table name, you have to select the data set, all of those things, right? So I'll click on the properties. So what I will do, I wanted to store it in some data set, as I told you, right? Go to the BigQuery. I wanted to store it under the master data set. So what I will do, I will click on this master. So I will select master. Similarly, table name, you can give some random table name. I will say DataFusion table. Okay, so DataFusion table. You can say some, give some name. So you wanted to load the data to this data set, and the table name is this one, DataFusion. Click on validate. If it is not throwing any error, see here, it is not throwing any errors. Okay, click on wrong. So this is how you will be able to create an end-to-end pipeline. Once the pipeline is created, provide a proper name to your pipeline. Okay, so you can say GCS to BQ pipeline. You can give some proper name, save it. Okay, some proper name I have given. GCS to BQ pipeline is saved. And what I wanted to do, I don't want it to deploy this pipeline because I have just created. I am not sure if there are any errors in the pipeline. To check the pipeline errors, you can also run dry run. You can also do the dry run. So whenever you do the dry run, what it will do is that it will check whether there are any errors in your pipeline or not. The possible errors it is going to find out. First, to do that, to run your to do the dry run, what we are going to do is that we can click on the preview. Once you click on the preview, this is how it looks like. See here, this is a run. So this run is nothing but a dry run only. Once you click on preview, so you are not deploying the pipeline. Deploying the pipeline means the pipeline will actually run, but what we are trying to do, we are previewing it. Okay, we will preview it and click on dry run. So let us wait for some time. If the pipeline is succeeded, that means there won't be any issues. So then we can able to deploy this pipeline. See here, the preview of the pipeline has completed successfully. That means there are no issues in the pipeline. You can also click on the logs and you can also check it. You see here, so this input field name contains fields that are neither in input schema or not generated by other fields. Fields are the field operations might not be recorded. That's totally fine. See here, pipeline is successfully loaded, succeeded. So the dry run is successful. If you wanted to run it properly, okay, you can able to click on save and then deploy. Click on deploy. So the pipeline will be deployed. Okay, so the pipeline will start and it will be creating a table in the BigQuery. So this is how you can able to do it, guys. Okay, the pipeline is deployed. You see here, and if you wanted to run it now itself, you can click and run. So if you wanted to run now itself, you can able to run it. See here. So what it will do, you can see here the status. It will first provision all the resources and then it will start running the pipeline. And after that, you will be able to see in a BigQuery, there will be a table created. Okay, so that is how it happens. So let's wait. It is still running. Let's wait. So it will do is that it's going to first provision all the resources required, then only it will be able to start the job. Okay. Okay. You can also check it out later. It takes some time. Okay. I'm going to stop here the session, but you can able to check it later also. Okay. Yeah. Thank you all. See, the status is starting also. Let me wait for some more time so that it will be completed. If it is facing any issues also, it will throw an error. We can go to the logs and we can able to check it also. Okay, we can click on the logs. Now there are no logs. If you wanted to see the advanced logs, you can click on advanced logs also. So you can see here starting the workflow program. So the application is submitted. So now the status become running. You see here. Let's wait for some more time. So far there are no errors. It is still running. Okay, so you can see here the status is successful. That means the pipeline is successfully ran, and that means if I go to the BigQuery, so there are no errors. You can also see here, right? So there are no errors. You'll be able to see here. So total 89 records here, total 41 errors are zero. Here total 41, 89. Total you can able to see this many joinings out and out. If I go to the BigQuery and if I refresh the master data set, I'll be able to see here DataFusion table. This is what we have created. And you see here subject and average grade. You can able to see the records also. Okay. So this is how you will be able to have it. Okay. So this is how the table is created, guys. Thank you.